Alright guys, so part 2 of Dragon Ball Legends 7th year anniversary officially kicks off in less than 24 hours from the time of this recording at 7 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Excuse this video, I'll get to that in just one bit. I will be having a watch party here on my YouTube channel, so if you guys do want to go to my live tab here on my YouTube, just hit this notify me button. I will be having a watch party pretty early on at 5 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. Eastern time, 17 hours from the time of this recording, which is 2 hours prior the Legends information, right? I think I said reveals and stuff earlier, but Legends information. But guys, I am very excited for this Legends information just because, you know, of course, we are going to get a brand new character. We got our first hint last night, which we're going to be talking about the whole thing in today's video. But, you know, besides the characters itself, something I always get excited for is new mechanics, new game modes, something new introduced that we're not used to seeing in Dragon Ball Legends. Because characters come and go. There's always going to be hype characters, but there's never so often a new mechanic in Dragon Ball Legends, right? That's very, very rare. And we already got leaks in terms of ground battles, however that's going to function. We got a teaser last night, okay? Which I'm not going to go over too much in today's video. I'm just going to touch on it really quick. I'll just play it in the background. It's a teaser where it shows the wasteland. It goes from aerial view, as you see right here. And then it goes to, of course, ground battle. And of course, I'm not going to play the sound, but you guys get it. On top, it sounds like they're kind of like dashing back and forth and fighting, throwing kicks and punches. And then on ground, you hear thumps, right? As if it was a giant. Now, there's heavy speculation here that we will be getting some kind of giant battles mixed with ground battles. Now, Saiyan Saga to me is not hype enough to, of course, carry a part 2 for an anniversary, and most of you guys would agree with me. Am I saying Saiyan Saga is bad? Not at all. I absolutely love the Saiyan Saga, but for part 2 of the anniversary, it needs to be very special, and the exception to that would be an introduction into giant battles alongside, of course, ground battles. Let me play some videos here for you guys in the background, some edits by TZ. Of course, this is Dragon Ball Legends user interface on top of Sparking Zero's user interface. Landscape mode looks pretty cool. This is just an example with Cell Max as well as Gohan. This is another example of ground battles right here, which is a dual impact, but where they're clashing hands together with Gohan and Piccolo, and they're on the ground. This, once again, is just an example. Now, it's been confirmed in the database itself by Spoon that, you know, Dragon Ball Legends does have ground battles and aerial battles, new mechanics, tutorials inside of, you know, Dragon Ball Legends database. It's officially there. We don't quite understand how it's going to work, but it's there, right? It's there for us to see in the database. So with the hint itself and getting giants, I want to talk about really quick, because if they are hinting, okay, if they are hinting Saiyan Saga, we can pretty much expect, and if they're hinting ground battles alongside, of course, giants, and take this all with a grain of salt. Nothing is confirmed yet, obviously. If it is the case, Grade 8 Vegeta is the first one to come out, right? Whether he's just a boss, whether he's playable. Now, something to note is that Dragon Ball Legends will be having a special raid where you need to require to actually beat story mode part 2 to officially play this raid, right? So they're kind of also tying in story mode into a specific raid that's going to come out very soon. Once again, we don't know anything, so that's why I kind of love talking about this kind of stuff. But there's 10 giants I really want to see in Dragon Ball Legends besides the Grade 8 Vegeta, of course. You see 3 right here, which is Orange Piccolo. I would absolutely love. Orange Piccolo is probably my #1 pick. Alongside it, Cell Max at number 2. And then number 3 would be Goma, right? These 3 characters as giants would be absolutely epic. We could talk about a little bit more giants here, such as, of course, something we're expecting down here, which is, you know, Grade 8 Vegeta. You also got the Golden Grade 8 Baby, which is pretty cool too. So these 2 apes, and you can toss up other apes in the mix, like Gohan goes ape, Kid Goku goes ape as well. Lord Slug would be awesome, just because, you know, we would most likely get a false Super Saiyan Goku in the mix, which would be pretty cool. Bergamo's another one. Now, I did mention over on my X page that if they are going to be introducing giant battles and ground battles tomorrow for part 2 of the anniversary, it would have been cool for them to introduce it to part 1 to really start off the anniversary with a banger. Of course, a lot of people aren't happy with the anniversary, how it was treated. And the reason why I'm putting Bergamo in the mix right there is just because we were in a Tournament of Power campaign and Bergamo goes Giants in that campaign. So it would make sense with the campaign itself, right? Is he a headliner unit? Absolutely not. But as an introduction into Giant Battles, that would be pretty cool to see, right? So, of course, there's other, Janemba. Actually, Super Gogeta would be pretty cool alongside Janemba. And other Giants as well. Maybe the 10th year anniversary, you could see some manga, Giant Goku versus Giant Moro, stuff like that, right? This is just a silly example. But, guys, in terms of, like, what we could see tomorrow, the most likely scenario, if it is Saiyan Saga, and if it's not Games Original, I pray to God it is Games Original. So there's a few scenarios I do want to paint with you guys really quick, okay? So the first scenario is this, right? Which is Saiyan Saga, Kaioken Goku, maybe even I think I have this pulled up, maybe even a Spear Bomb animation Krillin, where he catches the Spear Bomb and tosses back into Vegeta. That's also a possibility as an animation, right? Because we haven't gotten this specific scenario yet. But these two, Great Ape, Vegeta, of course, however they're going to function this, I still don't know if they're going to introduce landscape mode onto this. We don't know anything yet, right? That's why it's fun. It could not even be giant battles. It cannot even be, they could completely flop. They can just bring out, let's just say, Saiyan Saga, here's your part 2, right? Then in that case, this would be the worst anniversary ever. Don't think that's going to be the case. I do think there's something up their sleeve. If they start off, because they said they're going to start off this Legends information with a banger, so with a big reveal. So right away, characters, right? So I think they're going to start off with the characters, maybe even a giant like Great Ape Vegeta. And then towards the middle, they're going to announce some new campaigns, events, and stuff like that. Ground mechanics, who knows? And then towards the end, they release, let's just say, a Big Janemba, right? So it's like Super Gogeta and Big Janemba versus Great Ape, Vegeta, and Kaioken Goku. This is just an example, right? So anything is possible. I'm very curious to see more in terms of like what is ground battles, right? Because that's in the system, that's in the database. What is, how are they going to treat this, right? Because it's, if this is the case and they introduce ground battles alongside, of course, Great Apes and all this crazy stuff, I mean, Goma is a possibility. If they introduce stuff like this, it would probably be the biggest update that they promised. By the way, they did promise this, right? There's a reason why your phone's RAM's requirements went up to play Dragon Ball Legends, right? There's a reason why. And they also said it in the newsletter that they will justify the reasoning to increase your RAM to play Dragon Ball Legends. So, in theory, yes, this would make a lot of sense of why they would increase the RAM. So yeah, we'll see, guys. Once again, I will be going live here on YouTube very early on, so just keep those notifications on. You guys will not want to miss this. Should be a fun time. I love to talk with the chat live and stuff like that. So guys, if you did enjoy the video, as always, make sure you guys simply just like and subscribe. Tomorrow should be a very interesting part 2 Legends information. So I'll catch you guys for one more video a little bit later on today, and then the live stream tomorrow morning. So catch you guys a little bit later on today for a second video. Catch you guys then. Have a good one. Peace.